Hello everyone. Today I'm going to walk through replacing the subfloor. Now, typically you wouldn't replace the subfloor, you just build on top of it. But I chose to replace this subfloor for several reasons. I would like to briefly explain why I chose to replace the subfloor instead of just building on top of it, which is generally the accepted practice. As you've seen in the previous videos, the subfloor here has already been partially replaced, and they did kind of a poor job of it. There's wood that's still rotted and wet. The wood is very old, and also taking out the old subfloor is going to make sistering and repairing the joists a lot easier. Sistering is a method of repairing a joist that's been damaged in some way by attaching another joist directly to it so that they share the load. Typically, what you would do is just sandwich the two joists together, and you'd use glue, as well as screw them together to tighten them. I had to cut the joist. I couldn't put it all in one piece because I just didn't have the room to bring a 14-foot joist in one piece. I make a zigzag cut that kind of creates a shelf that adds additional support. Then finally, when I'm done, I put a metal mending plate on and put a bunch of screws through the mending plate to give it added strength. So this is the next best thing. Just cut it in half and then use a mending plate to put it back together. In addition, here's an overhead view where you can see the blocks that I added between the joists to help stabilize the joists so they wouldn't move back and forth the way they're not supposed to. Here's the underside of the bathroom. You can see here we've got blocking at the entryway edge. We've got blocking midway through. And I've replaced or reinforced a couple of the blocks at the edges too. So this should help strengthen the joists and the bottom of the floor. Once that was all done, I took a piece of OSB board and I cut it so it fit exactly at the entryway here. I did a trial run here before screwing and gluing it in just to make sure that it fit right. And then just slid that into place. With the trial run a success, it was time to do it for real. So here I used a polyurethane foam along with 2-inch decking screws to hold it down. The combination of glue and screw is really great, works really well for this type of application. And once I get everything down and get it fitted in, I deliberately kind of sit in the middle of it and start screwing from the middle outward to kind of like press it outward, kind of like you would a sheet if you were ironing it. And that's also to make sure that I had room for everything. And I put my weight in the areas where I'm not screwing, and then I switch, so once the screws are down, I start screwing in the areas where my weight was to hopefully kind of press down the board. Next, I'm going to put the second piece of subfloor in. And for these pieces, I used what's called tongue and groove, which has kind of a slot and then a little protrusion so the two pieces fit together. The advantage of tongue and groove is you don't need to have blocking directly beneath the places where the two pieces of wood connect. I also measured and drew lines on the OSB where I knew the joists would be once I had the OSB down. This makes it easier because once the OSB board is down, it can be hard to tell exactly where the joists are, and that's where you need to screw into. So this way I had a nice line as a guide to where I should screw down. And I finished up with this one doing the same glue and screw. Of course, always being sure to keep my weight right where the screw was going to go down. That's about it. Thanks for watching, everyone.